Welcome everyone to Team 3 News. Tonight's special is a feature on local high school coach Kostas Balasas. And to start us off, here's our correspondent in the field, Show.
What is a hero? Not all heroes leap tall buildings in a single bound, win the Stanley Cup, or win gold medals. For all of those athletes, however, their journey begins well before any accolades are collected. All of them had coaches to help them along the way, and for the young athletes at York Memorial Collegiate Institute, Kostas Balasas is that person. Balasas currently coaches both the girls and boys teams in the following sports: track and field, soccer, basketball, football, and ultimate frisbee. He also runs several intramural programs and manages the weight room both during lunch and after school. What makes him and his work stand out is that for many students at York Memorial who have struggles both inside and outside the classroom, he's not just a coach, but a mentor as well, someone who is truly on their team. In short, Kostas Balasas is not only a teacher, but a hero to many. For Amanda Diaz, Balasas is an inspiration. We had the chance to speak to the York Memorial alumnus about her former teacher, and this is what she had to say.
Although it's been 6 years, it feels like it was just yesterday when Mr. Balasas joined York Memorial's faculty. Being a new teacher is intimidating and tough, but Mr. Balasas seemed to settle in with ease. If he says otherwise, it definitely did not show to his students. He is easygoing and made it feel like he had been part of the school long before he arrived. Tough but fair, he would say, but only tough when he needed to be. He loved being a part of the school and was always willing to help his students, whether it was academically or with extracurricular activities before and after school. During most lunch breaks, too. He's one who dedicates most of his free time to the school and to his students. He's a teacher the students can count on for getting things done and for being there to help. This effort and support does not go unnoticed and helps make the biggest difference, even when their actions seem small or non-existent.
We also had the chance to speak with Balasas' colleague, Christina Osterman. Ostensibly a hero in her own right, Osterman had nothing but glowing words for her fellow teacher.
So it's been my pleasure to work with Kostas Balasas for the past few years. He is a full-time phys ed teacher at our school and definitely goes above and beyond the call of duty every day for our students and staff. He coaches a ridiculous amount of sports, to be perfectly honest. Every morning he's making announcements of, which teams have practice. And it seems to be pretty much every single day of his life he's consumed with this, aside from the fact that he, still able to maintain a home life and is even, from what I understand, doing personal training on the side after work in the evenings.
Wow.
And in the morning. So, yeah, I know. He's pretty incredible. This year alone, he's coaching boys and girls cross country, boys and girls track and field, indoor and outdoor, senior boys soccer, indoor junior boys soccer, indoor varsity girls soccer. So that's 4 soccer teams right there. And he's also coaching 2 of the boys' basketball teams, both the junior and the bantam, which is the grade 9 students. And as if that's not enough, he spends his lunch supervising students with intramurals and helping to progress their skills as well, not just supervising, like actually working with the students. So they've run co-ed volleyball, indoor soccer, dodgeball, co-ed basketball, co-ed badminton, and that's not including the outdoor spring ones that are to come. So that, it just in a nutshell, tells you how incredibly busy he is and how much he devotes his time to the students. He could easily coach there's an expectation that phys ed teachers coach, but as I said before, he's going above and beyond because he's coaching multiple sports in each season, which is unheard of. And he's doing it because he loves the kids and he loves sport. So aside from that, he really is a mentor to a lot of our students, especially the boys that he also teaches in phys ed as well. And he's been that extremely positive male role model in their life for many of our students that don't have a positive role model in their life, unfortunately. So keeping them out of trouble, turning them on to sports and athleticism, and he really is an inspiration. It is all of his time before and after school, and I mean, there's no way that any teacher could ever argue that he's doing less work than them. Even the teachers teaching the hardest grade 12 courses with the massive amounts of marking. Like, Coach Belasas is doing an insane amount of work. And as I said, it's not even work to him. He just loves it so much, and he loves connecting with students on a more personal level. Some kids that have coming from really bad upbringings, really heartbreaking personal stories, yet, on the court or on the field, all of that evaporates, and they're able to put their aggression in check, put their personal issues in check, just focus on the sport, work out their stresses with, all of the wonderful things that happen in the body with endorphins and good hormones that are released when you're exercising, and they're able to turn their life around, lead a more positive life. He also is in check with them as far as their academics go, so he's constantly on top of them. The second he has a roster of students that are trying out for the team, he'll check their academic eligibility. Wow. And any of the students that aren't academically eligible, he's not kicking them off. He has them on just I'm not sure how he refers to it, but he has them on an academic probation, and he's not just getting rid of them. He understands that some of these students need this in their life to really help turn their life around, or to give them something to even look forward to on a daily basis, bad as that seems. So, as I said, he's been an inspiration. He is a life changer. I know in 20, 30 years, when we have our 100th year reunion or beyond, a bunch of his students are going to come back just singing his praises. He's only been at our school for a handful of years, but we know that he definitely is making major impacts on their life, and it's amazing to be a part of it because he is wonderful.
Finally, we spoke with Belasas himself. Here's a brief snippet of an interview with the coach.
It was actually a high school teacher that influenced me, the way that he was teaching.
Okay.
I said, I want to be just like this high school teacher that I had when I was a student.
How long have you been at York Memorial?
York Memo, I've been at for 6 years. I used to work at CW Jeffries as well, so I've been teaching for about 13 years actually. Okay.
Have you always been a phys ed coach, but even before you were at York Memorial?
Yes.
Okay. So what about phys ed do you enjoy so much? You've been doing it for so long.
Because I do live an active lifestyle, so I do enjoy it, and I get to use students in a different way as opposed to just being in a classroom and doing traditional. So it's a lot more. Sometimes it's a lot more informal. It's a lot more sort of classroom management that's needed. I like to organize things and stuff like that. So.
Okay. I read the list of sports you coach at York Memorial, and it's quite the list. You coach almost every single day. What drives you to do that?
I used to do that after schools.
I'm sorry?
After school.
Okay.
Friday.
Okay. So why do you what makes you put so much time into doing it for the students?
Well, it's something that I want the students to remember. I enjoyed sports, those qualifications when I was a high school student, so that's why I wanted to be coaching those particular sports.
Right. How do you think these sports help in the everyday lives of students? So what do they get out of it?
Well, they get to learn how to work in a group, and that's something that's going to be something that they're going to work towards when they get into a career field. So group work, they get to work in a way where leadership is involved. A lot of the career-oriented skills are actually derived from team sports.
Right. So, and how do you have a specific coaching style that you use to get those leadership skills, group skills across in team sports, for example?
Yeah, basically, we a lot of it is trial and error, but I do structure. I give an explanation, they try it out, correct it. I pretty much say what are the positives behind it, either what we need to work on. So strengths and weaknesses based on when we do a practice, we work off of that.
Right. And in a high school setting, students are also studying for exams. They're doing assignments. They have to deal with their grades. So how do you deal with their grades in relation to their participation in sport?
We have what we call a student athletic eligibility. So they need to be passing 6 of 8. So we have 8 courses running that they're going to be taking. So they need to be passing 6 of 8. And one of the things that I do with my students is I do a check-in with them to say, okay, so the ones that you're failing, you know what, let's find out why you're failing. Let's see what we can do to get you to come up. So it's not, I don't kick them off the team. They will probably be playing a certain game, but if they have a goal that they can work towards, they want to play, well, let's see that you're showing us that you're trying very much. So then when you see an improvement, then I say, okay, you've earned that thing, basically.
Okay. Do students respond favorably to that kind of coaching, that kind of encouragement?
Oh, they pretty much they respect it, actually.
Okay.
Now there's some students that I don't know what the other coaches do, but I know that's what I do, and they pretty much respect it.
Okay. Have there ever been any cases where I know you said you like to work with the students, so do you ever have to take away a student from a sport as a punishment?
No, I haven't actually.
No. And do students? I know York Memorial is in a particularly rough neighborhood. Do you ever have to deal with any extracurricular things outside of sports?
Usually, what I get myself involved with is some type of athletic activity. So, for example, at lunchtime, I do weight room or I run intramural. So, usually that's the area that I work in, just because that's what I enjoy the most. Now, in other clubs and stuff like that, other staff will cover that.
Okay. Well, what's your relationship with the other staff at York Memorial? Do you guys coach so many sports? So do other staff help you out?
I do get the occasional help from some other staff as well. But it varies on the sport, of course. Like cross country and track and field, I do have an assistant as well that helps me. But with the soccer, I'm pretty much on my own.
I won't take up too much more of your time, but do you have a favorite sport to teach?
I do like teaching, track and field and soccer. So it was between the two of those two are my favorite. Because track and field, because it's a lot more individual. I find what strengths the students have and I can work towards it. And soccer, because it's an easy group sport to work towards. You teach soccer, you can pretty much teach any group sport.
Okay, well, and you mentioned one of the things you like about team sports is that you learn group skills, you learn leadership skills. In a sport like track and field, where there are a lot of individual sports, what do you think students are getting out of that?
Believe it or not, a lot of discipline, and because they have a goal that they want to work towards, so they build up their disciplinary tactics. So that way, actually, by being more disciplined, they can in track and field, they can be disciplined in other things, such as schoolwork, etc. So that's why I do like to coach track and field.
Okay, and I guess my last question for you is a more broad one. Is there anything you would like to say regarding anything you want to let me know that I haven't asked you about already about the type of work you do and the students you interact with at York Memorial?
No, other than the fact that it is primarily voluntary. I do enjoy what I do, and I do also have another job. I work as a personal trainer and group fitness instructor.
Okay.
And so after I coach, that's what I go and do. But other than that, I do enjoy that aspect of believe it or not, I don't want to deal with the office work, administrative work. I'll deal with it. Like I can work with it. That's not a problem. I'm organized to do it. But I don't want to move up to get into that deal. That's not interested at all. This is where I want to be. Until I end up retiring one day.
Thanks, Show. That's all the time we have tonight for Team 3 News. Good night.